Hello everyone and welcome to the third in a series of Project Cars 2 developer live streams. My name is Joe Barron, I'll be your host for today, and joining me over my shoulder is the illustrious game director of Project Cars, the real Andy Tudor.
Hello!
Who does speak. When he rehearsed he was silent, so that's good that he talked. This week we're going to be talking all about online features, and we're live of course on twitch.tv/projectcarsgame and also on Facebook. Andy will be in the Twitch chat taking your questions, so head over to Twitch if you do want to ask questions, because that's the chat that we'll be looking at. And as you can see, we're in the replay mode of the new game, but actually we're going to start off by talking to you about the new broadcaster and director tools, which are designed all about making your live streams look better than ever, making your league racing look better than ever. And Andy's going to give you a demo of that now, and I'm going to shut up for a bit.
Good intro, Joe. Well done. Yeah, so...
It's like I rehearsed it 10 times.
It is, it is. So yeah, what you guys are watching right now is the brand new replay system. And the replay system and what you look at during the monitor and when you're in the pits, and the new director and broadcaster system all use the same feature set. Yeah. So if I unhide the interface here, something happens. Oh, did I pause it? I paused it.
You paused
Sorry,
it. I thought you killed the game, and my heart skipped a beat for a minute.
Oh, honestly, my heart just jumped a beat there. Yeah. So if you unhide the interface, you now have a complete feature set here, allowing you to do whatever you want. So in Project Cars 1, it was
basic,
fairly rudimentary. Yeah, let's say what you could do. One of the limitations was that if you wanted to change driver, you had to actually cycle through all the drivers, which was not particularly great, especially if you want to direct the action on the screen. So as you can see here, first things first, I can now actually select the driver I want to go to, and then just hit them, and it jumps immediately to that specific person. We've been thinking of how this stuff is going to look on a Jumbotron at live events, as well as at home when you guys are streaming your own events and or even just watching your own replays, right? Which is why who you're currently watching straight ahead is up there at the top middle, and you can also now see who is ahead of that guy and who is behind them, as well as what class they're currently in and their position as well. So yeah, really important information when you're watching a live broadcast, or whether that be at the upcoming Gamescom, or whether you're watching a YouTube video or even a live Twitch stream. So yeah, you're able to change your drivers over on the left hand side, and also over on the left hand side it gives you key information about what that driver's doing currently, what lap they're on, how far they are behind the leader, etc. Also, you can, in the replay mode, obviously you can pause it, you can rewind and stuff, you can step backwards, and you can also now jump immediately to very specific camera angles as well. So again, no longer do you have to cycle through all the different camera angles. You can jump to either a series of onboard cameras, so you can go to either the bumper, bonnet, roof, chase or cockpit cams, or you can actually say, you know what, let the game decide what we're going to actually watch here, and just cycle through the onboard cameras in a random fashion. So right here, obviously we're in the hood cam, or the bonnet cam.
That's roof, I think. That's chase.
And then we jump straight to the chase cam as well. Also, you can say, let's just watch the broadcast cameras. So what we've done with broadcast cameras is we've had our guys looking at how these races at these specific circuits in these specific motorsport disciplines look like on TV. Yeah. So for us as fans who maybe can't make it to these locations and watch it from the grandstand, we're usually used to watching it on television, right? No matter what, depending on what country you're in, and they all have a very specific look. So what our guys have done is they've looked at the footage from those specific broadcasts around the world and replicated exactly where the cameras are on those specific circuits, and also by the specific motorsport discipline as well. So you watch a GT race or a Le Mans race or an endurance race, and the cameras they behave in a very specific way, they're positioned in a very specific place, they change a very specific time. If you watch a Rallycross race, though, they're very different. Sometimes they're actually embedded in the ground. We've all seen those those
nice
camera
curved cameras
angles,
and things like that.
Exactly, where they're actually embedded in the rumble strip and stuff like that. That's not the case for every single track. That's not the same case for every single motorsport discipline. So we've tried to replicate exactly what you would see on TV with how the replays look in the game as well. And if you want to just kind of have everything on screen, you can rotate between everything, so both onboard and trackside as well. So that's really cool. So just, you know, some things aren't all bells and whistles and awesomeness, but, you know, some things are big improvements off the first game. So yeah, that's just one of those things. When you are a broadcaster or director, you can also change the interface as well. So you can also bring up the map for the people who are watching at home or the people watching in the stadium or in the seated arena. And you can also you can change the overlay, the overview on the top of the screen as well. If you're in director mode as well, you can also bring up the splits along the bottom of the screen, just like you would see in other motorsports as well. And you can also bring up a timing board too. So the timing board is going to allow you to have a little bit more extra detail on the fastest laps of specific drivers, the sector times of specific drivers, whether they have penalties or something like that as well. So it's almost like a break from the action, just to kind of give you a refresh of what's going on in the actual race itself, whilst you're not actually watching someone specifically.
Hot question from the chat from Rene G Runner himself.
Oh dear.
In TV mode, do you still get sections that are on board, or does TV mean it's from the outside? So there's not a TV mode. You can see the buttons at the bottom of the screen. There's either trackside or onboard or all. So if you go trackside, you get trackside cameras. If you go onboard, you get onboard cameras, and then you can pick specific ones within that as well. Yeah,
absolutely. In the interface, you'll see on the left-hand side we've got what we call locked views, where you can just lock it to one specific view, and then you can actually just change driver. It doesn't really matter what you change to; it'll always be in that view. Or you can have it on set to trackside, and again, you can then just flick between the actual drivers on the left-hand side as well, and it'll always stay on those trackside cameras. So you're going to get these really professional looking broadcasts now with this system. I mean, look at that, looks amazing.
Yeah, Rene can't blame us anymore, it's his fault if it goes wrong.
Yeah, cool. So short and sweet, I know. You guys are going to have amazing fun with this when you get your hands on it. But yes, should we move on to the next thing?
Yeah, I think we're going to look
at of things we're going to talk about.
Community events next.
Cool.
Which is going to involve me driving hopefully better than in the last stream where I ended up pointing backwards.
Ah, right, okay. So, yes, we've shown you guys so far custom race, right? We've seen this menu before, we've seen the favorites menu before, right? So today we're going to jump over to the next tab over, which is community. Stuff for you guys to play at home, either in a connected way, you can play with other people, either asynchronously or together or in time trial or something like that. So we're going to do community events, is that right first?
Yep, just looking at the chat again, spotted our friend Yuhan saying this is better than porn. I think he's probably right.
Better than porn, okay, no comment.
And Midland Zeta was asking, can you save the full replays? Yes, you can.
Yes.
Simple enough answer for that one.
Again, it's a great little question. It's a great little answer. Yes, you can. It's one of those tiny little things that we've improved upon the first game, but go a long way because you guys have been asking for it and we tried to deliver.
So yeah, community events, and then I think we were going to look at the Ford one, Andy.
Yeah. So community events again, big change over the first game, but also micro changes as well. So what you'll see here is obviously brand new interface. Every community event now has a poster, a sponsor. You can clearly see, you know, how much longer the event is open for. You can see the best times immediately there as well. And also we've now categorized community events by what are on right now versus what is upcoming. So you can see there's a variety of different events that are happening when the game launches and throughout the life cycle of the game. And also you can see which events have been finished as well. So again, if you remember back to Project Cars 1, currently it's just one long list and you have to scroll for a very long time to actually find the current event, and also, you know, to be able to go back and have a look at the previous results and things like that. So again, we've categorized them here, made it a lot prettier and stuff like that. and yeah, you can instantly see who has the fastest times and everything. So is this the one you want to attempt, Joe?
That's the one, yeah.
Okay.
I've definitely not practiced this at all.
Right, okay. So yeah, again, you can see kind of the key information that there is here. You can see the leaderboards, and you can also add a ghost in. Do you want to add a ghost into this one, or do you want to just go for it?
Let's leave this one, because we're going to talk about time trial afterwards, aren't we? So we can do some ghost stuff with time trial. We'll just jump in for this one, show a little bit of gameplay, and then you can take some questions from the chat while I'm driving for a couple of minutes.
Yep.
I'll just do 2 or 3 laps maybe to show off the car on the track.
Cool. So yes, off we go to Long Beach. Do you need me to press start?
I do.
Cool, so whilst Joe is driving around Long Beach, I'll have a look at the chat and have a look at some questions here. Yes, we're going to get to time trials, don't worry. I can see some people are chomping at the bit for that kind of stuff. So yes, we are going to have a look at time trial, how we've improved things there as well, and how adding ghosts in is a little bit different and a lot easier to do as well. Having a look at the other logos here. So someone's asking why there is a tuning setup.
Good start.
Well, I'll just distract people. Hey, look at me, don't look at the screen. Yeah. Someone's asking what the tuning setup logo is for. Well, the icon there is to show that someone has used either a default setup or not. So you can as well as showing what control scheme they use as well. So you can see, hey, the top guy on the leaderboard there has set the time with a gamepad, or he set it with a wheel, or he set it with a keyboard potentially, and also he used a non-standard default setup as well. Some questions coming in for online lobbies and stuff. We're going to go through that as well, so stay tuned. For the next 45 minutes, we'll have a look at that too. Chase cam is in replay mode, absolutely, because you know the game is being played by Joe here and has been played by Stephen previously as well in the play seat with the full rig, and also you know people driving with VR and motion rigs as well. But also, as we've tried to tell you on the first stream, as I hope you understood, the game is there to be played with a gamepad as well. So of course you can look at replays in Chase Cam too, because we know a large majority of our players do that as well. Just having a look through the chat. There's obviously things I can't talk about here. Trophies and achievements will be released and unveiled at a later time. Obviously, we only have, was it 37 days until the release of the game now?
That's probably impressive that you got that off the top of your head.
It's like, you know, it's like when you have a birthday, right? You know, you're counting down the days to Christmas. So, yeah, I think it's actually less than that, 35 maybe.
I'm going to stop talking because every time I open my mouth, I end up in the wall. Yes,
we'll be releasing and unveiling the achievements and trophies for the game in the next few days. Can we... questions about Porsche, stop using the pit lane exits. Joe? I didn't
even notice I was doing that.
But you did you?
I must have done.
Okay. And yes, we'll have a look at leaderboards and stuff on in time trial in a minute. Do you want to, have you set a time yet?
It's pretty pathetic, I hit the wall twice.
Dear.
Well, we're going to look at the same track and try and to show the ghost stuff, so hopefully I've learned from my mistakes.
You're not allowed to wall ride in this game?
Oh, it wasn't wall riding, it was going straight on into a wall. It was, yeah, it was bad. Okay, pause me, Andy, let's take a look at the same kind of scenario in time trial and show the differences.
Gotcha, okay.
You'll have to pause me on that gamepad you've got there to back out.
Okay, so you set a time, a
pathetic one.
Pathetic time of 1:29.942. Okay, so let's jump out of this mode here. And we will now go over to time trial mode. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have a look at time trial and see how it's improved, as well as being able to load in a ghost of... Are you going to load in a ghost of what you've just done?
In fact, pass me the controller. I had a ghost in mind from one of our WMD guys.
So again, you can see here time trial has been completely revamped as well. So first things first, you can obviously see the top 10 immediately, and being able to tab between the different pages is a lot quicker from the first game. And also, I don't know about you, but when I'm going to add a ghost, it's a bit of a laborious process currently. So, you know, you've just got a great big list of potentially tens of thousands of people. And so now if you hit add ghost, it now brings up what we call the highlights, as well as the full leaderboard. So if you just want to grab the world record guy or your own personal best.
So see, I did go faster earlier. There's a 122 there. I didn't just do a pathetic 129.
Sure.
We'll pick Tim's Ghost because he's the quickest in that car at the moment.
Sure you did, yeah.
Shut it. We'll pick Tim's Ghost because he's the quickest in the car. So I probably won't beat him, but you'll at least be able to see what the Ghost looks like up in front of me.
But yeah, you can see instantly right there that the interface for being able to just grab the guy that you want, you know, whether it's the fastest in your class, the fastest in the world, your own personal best, that is all instantly accessible without having to trawl through the leaderboards to try and find that information. So again, tiny little things that we're adding, tiny little changes that were made, but they all make a big difference. Are you ready?
We shall find out, I suppose.
Are you pumped?
We're not going to hit the wall anymore, hopefully.
Let's go. Cool, back to the chat. I'll have a look at some more questions here. Good to see a few people from either previous chats or from our esports stuff. So Yuhan and Tijani in there, that's nice to see. People asking about searching for online lobbies. Again, yeah, we're going to go through online lobbies in a minute after time trial mode. So we'll have a look at that. Again, who's that guy? The real Randy Tudor. This is some sort of imposter.
I know who it is, but I'm keeping my mouth shut.
You do? Oh no. Oh dear. Okay. Okay, we'll have a look through the chat. Have a look more. Is the engineer spotter voice only in English? Or we've done translation for the main languages. So the spotter, well, there's two actually. There's the race engineer and the spotter. And they are in English and they will have subtitles. So sorry that they're not in your native language, but all our audio based speech is in English with subtitles, I'm afraid. Is there online driver change? Unfortunately not. This is something that requires a lot of work. It's obviously something that happens in real life. You were just over at the Spa 24 hours, right? So you had some stories about the drivers, how they're going off to sleep and everything, and then swapping over and things like that.
Yeah, we got to see kind of rooms where the drivers are sleeping between stints and stuff, and heard about them being able. They have to spend a minimum. Oh God, I'm going to miss the corner. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. I got round. Yeah. We heard some stuff about, saw where the drivers sleep, but also we're told about, they have a minimum amount of time they have to sleep between stints to make sure they're not just awake the whole time and then falling asleep at the wheel and stuff like that. So it was super interesting, and that question has come up on previous streams, and it is something we want to potentially look at in the future. It's not something we're going to say never to, but yeah, it's not in there on day one for sure. Yeah,
absolutely.
You can stop me after this lap, Andy.
Cool. Yeah. How are you doing?
Okay, I think. I've not actually looked at the time. Oh, that was bad though.
So you can see at the top, your fastest lap was, you're actually doing okay. You're a little bit behind.
I was ahead until I ran wide there.
But that little meter at the top is really cool for judging how well you're doing. Again, little improvement that we added into the game to help game modes like this. Might do it.
Up slightly, but your main man there, the fastest guy in the car so far in WMD, is still up the road.
Yeah.
We improved, that'll do.
Cool.
Cool, right. Let's go to the next thing we're going to talk about, which is, I believe, racing license, which you can show via the time trial menus, I believe.
Yes, so what we're going to do now is we're going to have a look at your competitive racing license. So the information for this is on the website as well. But the key thing here is it's not just related to esports. Okay, so the racing license is going to affect absolutely everybody that plays online. So we've all been in a situation where we go into a race and people start crashing on the first corner, right? It's a horrible thing. We have been aware of it for many years. We've tried to make improvements every single game that we do, and with the competitive racing license now, we finally have a way of filtering everyone out by their success, how long they've been playing the game, and also their racecraft. So you can now select anybody on the list here, and it will sync with their driver network. Make sure that our internet is okay.
It was working earlier, hopefully it'll work.
Yes,
if not, we can go to our... okay, we could go back to our menu, we'll try it. There you go.
There we go. So this guy, Tim, we can see that he is a German player, and we can also see that he has a racecraft rating of F. Okay, so you start at U and you work your way up to S. So you go through E, D, C, B, A, S. And you can also see how successful he is. And this is a number going from, I think it's 100 to 1,500. So you start off at 1,500 and you work your way up to 100. So you can see that this guy is starting off his career. He doesn't have a stripe along the right-hand side of his racing license, which means he's just got the game. And also he is starting off to be successful, and he's got out of the U racecraft rating and has now got a F racecraft rating. So if I want to get some more information on him, I can compare his racing license to my own. Now, of course, our racing license on the left is what we use for testing the game and everything, so it is the kind of default at the moment. But you can see already that I am unclassified. I have no racecraft because I haven't raced many hours in the game, and I have a 1,500, i.e. the very bottom of the success rating for the game. But I can also then compare, what kind of player we are. So obviously the guy on the right has played more than triple the number of hours in the game than I have myself. He's played a little bit more solo, but he's played a lot online. 6.7 hours compared to my 0. And then you can start working out, the kind of player that he is. So, for example, I've done almost no engineering in the game, so I have not been into the tuning menus. I have not set up pit strategies, where he has actually done it, 15% of the time. So obviously this kind of driver is someone who likes to get under the hood, starts making tuning setups, starts making pit strategies and stuff. And also he does a little bit more qualifying than me, so maybe he's somebody who is a bit more into the authenticity of the game and doing practice and qualifying sessions and doing full race weekends compared to myself, for example. And you can also see how successful he is, how often he finishes a race. We all hate those guys who just rage quit and just pull the cord out of the console or whatever and just quit out of races. We don't want that, so we can actually monitor your finishing rate as well as how actually well you did once you're actually in the race itself with your wins and your podium rate.
This might even turn into a useful recruitment tool if you're running an esports team or a league or something like that, and you're trying to figure out if somebody's worthy of joining your league or trying to find new talent to join your team. You'll be able to compare your own stats to the person that you're interested in potentially getting involved with, and that will give you a better idea of their overall performance level rather than just some vague idea of what their online reputation is like in the community. You can actually drill down into the stats now and figure out the real facts out about that guy.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a great recruitment tool for esports guys, as well as being able to switch to your affinity, and you can actually see what kind of cars that you like driving. Coincidentally, both our cars are the Ferrari 488 GT3, interestingly. But also you
Guy's got good taste, what can you say?
Yeah. But also you can do it by the amount of time played versus the amount of distance you've driven as well. So again, you can kind of see if you are looking to recruit somebody for your team, you can actually see, oh, they love driving GT cars as well, and we have a team which is in either the Challenger Series or the Pro Series of one of our esports events. This guy is obviously very good, I can see by his stats. And he loves driving the kind of cars that we drive as well. He also drives in cockpit camera with a steering wheel, so he obviously takes it very, very seriously. And
there's a couple of questions in the chat, Andy, just people asking if you can clarify that point about what the default skill rating is and what the maximum is, if you know.
Yeah, so the default is 1500, which is what we see on my profile on the left-hand side, with an unclassified racecraft rating. And the idea is to climb to 100 with an S-class, perfect amount of racecraft.
Cool. That should clear that up for a few people.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, being able to compare your driver network profile with someone else is not only just interesting, just to have those moments where I can say to Joe on a Saturday morning, I can say, hey, I'm better than you because I've got more podiums in online races. Look at this shade he's throwing here. But yeah, it's great for those water cooler moments, and it's also great for our professional drivers in order to recruit new people to the game. So yes, so that's just a tiny little insight into your driver network profile. You can get to your full driver network profile by just clicking the right stick, and you can see your own profile here with a bit more detail, as well as any images and videos that you've stored.
Cool.
As well.
Do you want to do a little bit of online lobby stuff, some of the other stuff that's in the online menus, and then we should show people some more driving after that, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So getting into games is obviously incredibly important to get into games really, really quickly and easily, and therefore we've overhauled the lobby with more finer detail on what the lobby is actually doing at the moment. So for a start, you can see whether it's a dedicated server or not, and whether it's private or not. You can also see how many players are in the actual race as well, which we always had, but you can also see what class is being driven in that race as well. You'll also see it says minimum grade, and that is relating to your racing license. So you can make an event, we'll do that in a second, and you can see you can therefore make sure that your event is only for people of a certain skill level and a certain racecraft level as well. You can also see as well which part of the session they are currently in. So whether they are in the lobby, when they're in the practice session, a qualifying session, or they're actually in the race right now. So there might be a lobby you really, really want to get into, and you can see, oh, they're in the race right now, and you can see the 6 laps remaining. So you don't have to wait very long. Or you can see, oh, these guys are in a lobby right now. They haven't even started the race, and it's only going to be 5 laps, which is perfect for me compared to 91 laps, which is a very long time.
That's what I would be doing.
Yes, absolutely. And of course you can filter these as well. So you can filter them by peer-to-peer ones, dedicated server, or everything. You can also hide empty ones. So of course, they're hopefully, cross fingers, there's going to be many, many lobbies open throughout the life cycle of the game. You can just hide all the empty ones. So even when you're just searching for them, they're not even going to come up. So this again is just going to get you into a race really, really quickly. You can also toggle between race and rallycross for those people who love to do some sideways action, and also by car class. So if I'm in a very specific car right now, you can say, just find me a race where my current car is legitimate, and then you can jump straight in as well. And also short, medium and long races as well. Oh, and extremely long races as well. Yeah. So again, this is just going to filter out what is shown in the lobby, and therefore get you into the perfect game, which is going to match your skill and also your preference of how you prefer to drive. So let's jump out of there. So should we make a game of ourselves?
Yeah, you can show off some of that if you want.
So you've seen, the guys saw this on a previous stream, right? This menu.
They've seen this menu in quick race single player form. They haven't seen the online version yet.
Yeah, cool. So you'll have seen your track select and vehicle select, the ability to change your race settings and things, being able to turn on practice and qualifying, opponents, what they are like, and what kind of classes they drive and things like that, and the rules and regulations. When you're making an online event, you also then get these 2 options up here. So very, very quickly, obviously you can name the lobby, you can set it private or public, and also you can say, as we've said since the start of when we've been talking about Project Cars, you can also say whether the event that you're going to do on a Saturday night is going to be broadcast or not. If I turn that on, it now means that it's going to add 2 specific slots for a director and a broadcaster into your race as well. So regardless of whether you're into esports or not, regardless of whether you're doing a tournament or a championship or something like that, even if you're just playing on a Saturday night and you just want to stream the entire thing and direct it and add commentary and all that kind of stuff, you can do so just by flicking that one switch
We should point out as well, when you turn the broadcast mode on, the broadcaster and director slots do not take player slots away from the lobby. So if you're in a 32-player match on PC, turning on broadcast doesn't reduce the match to 30 players. It adds a broadcaster and the director on top of the 32 players.
Absolutely. And then one other little thing that we've added as well is this wait for race ready input. So you want to start a race online or at a live event like Gamescom. You want everyone to join the lobby, and and the lobby's going to start. And then you potentially don't want the race to start straight away once the loading screen has happened and everyone is out on the track. You still want people to be out on the track and still have time to change their tuning setups, change their pit strategy or whatever before the actual race starts. So again, that's another little thing that we've added in there, and it's just flicked on by that little toggle there. So again, you can make every lobby on a Saturday night, you can make sure that everyone goes into the race and then has like a few seconds or whatever it is, you know, everyone readies up at the, when they are ready. And you can then just start the race and everyone's, you know, not complaining that they're on the wrong tyres or they've, you know, they've got the wrong tuning setup or something loaded. So yeah, tiny little things, but they go a really, really long way. So yes, we'll have a look at that. And then the other one is your realism settings. So you'll have seen a menu like this in Project Cars 1. We've added a few little things here as well. So you can say there's a cooldown lap as well. And therefore, you know, this is going to allow players to do a manual cooldown lap.
Or donuts if you've won.
Yeah, exactly. Think of it as a victory lap. There you go. So if you were doing a tournament and it was the final race, just like we've just had in our SMSR Championship Series, you could have turned that on, and then when the final guy wins, you know, crosses the finishing line and wins, he could have then just done a victory lap and done, you know, burnouts for the crowd and all that kind of stuff. That would have been cool. So again, tiny little things, but yeah, they go a long way. Yeah, okay, next.
If you want to pull back, if you want to, I know you wanted to touch on one more thing that was in the online menu, the one in the top right briefly, and then we'll move on.
Yep, so online championships, again, information is out there. It's a game mode that we are super pumped about, and we'll be activating this soon after launch, and it's going to be able to allow you guys to make your own championships, the schedule, the driver roster, assign drivers to specific teams, choose who is going to be the director and the broadcaster, say how regulated you want the actual championship to be as well. And yeah, we can't wait to get this in your guys' hands. We're testing it, doing the final tests on it currently, and yeah, we'll have more information on this soon. Rene
is saying, can you show the broadcast button, because he wants to see his own face.
Okay.
I think that's in the esports menu.
Oh, no. So it's in the online championships one. I can quickly show you there. So there you are, Rene. Ta-da!
And Luke as well, Actual Vision, showing up his gurning terrible pink t-shirt in there as well.
And also our championship esports teams as well, with SDL and Team Redline and BAM logos there. So yes, so yeah, jumping on to esports as well. So esports is obviously super important to us. We've been doing it for years. We've just had, you know, the final of our SMSR Championship Series, and we're heading to Gamescom for the World Finals as well. This is going to be your hub for finding out everything that is going on in the competitive scene, whether it is watching esport events that are happening right now on Twitch, whether it's catching up with the latest news, seeing when the next schedules of events is happening, or even jumping over to YouTube and watching the videos on demand of past races as well. So yes, we'll have more information on this stuff at Gamescom next week. Wow, it's come around very, very quickly.
I need to sleep.
Yeah.
Gamescom is, yeah, I'm going to be tired, but it'll be fun.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm going to let you take some more questions from the chat. I'm going to show a track we haven't shown much of yet.
Go for it.
So if you want to take some chat questions, I saw one of the GTA guys, I think it might have been Matty, asking about manual rolling starts, which is a thing that we have, and also he was asking about formation laps as well, Andy, but I'll let you dig into the chat and answer some questions.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can do a manual rolling start right now if you want.
Let me show this new circuit first, and then we'll maybe finish with that, because I think we've got about 20 minutes left, so I can squeeze that in as well.
So of course we had automatic rolling starts in Project Cars 1, and therefore you started behind the grid and you had no control over it whatsoever until the actual green lights went green. In Project Cars 2 we are doing both. So you can have the automatic rolling starts as well as the manual ones if you prefer. Under manual starts, you are given the position that you have to stay in. And of course, if you deviate from that position, you will then start getting warnings and ultimately getting penalties if you do not adhere to those as well. So again, it's something that is more authentic to real life. It's something that the community have been asking for as well, and yes, it's a pretty cool thing to do, especially when you see your real life friends or your fellow league drivers all doing it in front of you, and maybe trying to warm their tires up just like real life, or holding back a bit and then accelerating away. So yeah, it's pretty special, and obviously as a director or a broadcaster, when you're watching that as well, you can use that time to commentate on what are the different strategies people are going to be having, and then looking for the green light and who is going to get the perfect getaway depending on how well they did in the manual rolling start as well. So yeah, really, really cool. More questions from the chats. So Sugo, here we go, brand new track. Don't know whether people would have spotted that on the loading screen, but yeah, yet another new track we're adding into the game as well. Is there anything to simulate a safety car? So, not a safety car per se, no. We don't have a physical car that comes out onto the track and slows everyone down and everything. It's something that's on the radar, something we all like and everything, as well as being something that's completely authentic to racing. So yes, of course, it's something at the back of our minds, but it's not in Project Cars 2, I'm afraid. What else is there? Is there a way to turn off the rating system if you want to fool around with friends and drift? Yes, absolutely. You'll have seen on the browse screen, you'll have seen some online games do not need a minimum grade, and you can actually turn off the racing license for them. So if you and your friends just want to play around, or you just want to do, if you're an esport team, you want to do scrims with other esport teams and not have your ratings affected, then yes, absolutely you can do that as well. Can you race on bumper view, Joe? But I don't think...
I can if I can find the button.
Oh, there we go, look at that.
There we go.
You ask, we provide. That's the way it works. What else is there? What about a sort of recovery time for crashed vehicles? Will they be able to teleport to the pit box? Yeah, I mean, you can press start at any point and you can retire to the pit box, absolutely. I'm not quite sure what the question is getting at there. Maybe one of the guys in the chat, maybe Nathan or something, can have a look at that in the chat. What else is there? Does your rating go down if you become inactive? So, no, it doesn't. I know what you're talking about there. You're talking about degradation, as there is in other games, and no, it's not in Project Cars 2. Reason being, it's a little harsh. Obviously, we all live in a world where there's many games to play, many things to do, many social media accounts to follow and stuff like that.
Especially if you're Andy Tudor.
Things, we live in a very, very busy world, and therefore it's a little harsh to say if you don't play the game, your rating's going to go down. I don't know how it would be. I don't know how you feel about that, Joe, but I would not want to come back to the game after, a week, 2 weeks, something like that.
Well, my hope would be that people are going to be so into this game, they're not going to be away for too long anyway. But yeah, I agree with you. I think to punish somebody for not playing the game if they're on vacation for a while or something seems a little bit harsh to me.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing we didn't show, but I guess it's because it's obvious to us, but may not be obvious to the people in the chat, is that the custom race menu that we were just in that showed the host settings and the realism settings, it also, if you'd gone into the opponent settings, of course, you can set it up to be a multi-class race. So yes, you can have multi-class racing in online now as well, which is great. Joe, cut some corners to show off the cut track system.
Well,
Did you turn flags and penalties on though? I'm trying to remember.
I'm in time trial, so they're on by default. So
okay.
I'll cut the chicane that's just ran here in a second and see if I get. It should just tell me that the race director has.
It should say the race director has penalised your lap. Yeah.
It's around here, right?
As opposed to when you're in a race where it would be you need to slow down and take your position back again.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Lap time deleted by the race director. So obviously, you know, we know from our community events with our Driver Network Championship in Season 1, you know, we were checking the ghosts and things like that all the time, and therefore we wanted to make sure that the cut track system was, I mean, it got vastly improved during the life cycle of Project Cars 1, but also we've got a completely brand new system for Project Cars 2, and it is a lot more sturdy, a lot more fail-safe for that kind of thing.
Cutting the corners, throw my rhythm off.
How many times have you driven Sugo?
I learnt it today.
You learnt it today? Oh, okay, gotcha. Cool.
We'll move on and we'll look at that race start thing for the GTA guys who were asking about it after this.
Yes, absolutely. Just looking for some more questions here.
I'll go set that up.
Are we going to do another stream about tuning and
we've gone very dark.
Sorry?
When the TV went dark, we just went into darkness in the room, but never mind, carry on.
Are we going to do something about tuning setups and pit strategies specifically?
We might look at that in the stream after Gamescom if we've got time. So around a week after Gamescom, we're going to have a stream mostly about career mode, which hopefully Ben Collins is going to join us for, which will be cool. And Ben's obviously, he knows his setup and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if we can get that in, we'll try to squeeze that into that potentially.
Yeah, cool.
I'll give this rolling start a go.
So you're going to do a manual rolling start?
Yes.
Cool. Good, good. What did I eat for breakfast today? I had a bagel with peanut butter. There we go. It's a carb up.
Where is the start button?
What else? If I leave a race before it ends, does it affect your racing license? So it affects your statistics, okay? So you'll have seen on the screen that it shows you your races complete, and therefore it affects it there. I will have to check whether it affects your success rating. I mean, obviously if you're disconnecting, your success rating will not go up, but it will not go down either. I will check that for you.
Before I start this race, Andy, can you do me a favour and turn some lights on?
Turn some lights on?
Because look at the camera.
Oh, we are in the darkness.
You're in the dark, definitely.
Okay.
Do you want to just unhook your microphone for 2 seconds? And
I can turn the brightness up on my laptop. There we go.
That'll do, I suppose, for now. I'll start this race.
Good, good. Is it quick to join a random race, or so you cannot join a race that is in progress currently, but you can join a non-race session. So you can join a qualifying session or a practice session. And as you saw on the lobby, you can see how much time there is left in that session as well. So you can think, okay, the magic fairies have turned on the lights. There we go.
Anyone would think there's someone else in this building watching this stream.
That's right. So yes, you can jump into the qualifying session, and you can make a decision and see, oh, there's 5 minutes left in the qualifying session, and therefore it's going to be, I'm still going to be able to set a time in there, compared to jumping in and seeing, oh, there's only 1 minute left. I'm not going to be able to set a time, and therefore even if I do jump into this race, I'm going to be at the back of the grid. So again, little decisions, little points of information that are going to help you make a decision on how to get into a race even quicker than before. Next questions. Oh, I like this guy. Let's take these guys out for beers for all the hard work. Keep it up, lads. Well,
if anybody saw your tweet before this stream started,
it's obviously not just Joe and I here. The real work gets done by the the coders and the engineers and the QA team and the artists and stuff who shy away from coming on camera, but yeah, it's those guys who are the real heroes. Our WMD community who help test the game, give us feedback on how it's going and stuff. The drivers who they're off in their real world, you know, being successful in the real world, driving the cars in whatever motorsport discipline it is, but then also take the time to sit with us and give us the key insight on specific cars or specific tracks, or the handling, or information on their career and how that influences the career mode of Project Cars 2, which will be shown on the next stream, so stream number 4. So yes, thank you for the comment, but it's those guys that deserve the beers. What else is there? This game seems so alive, thanks to live track and the scan circuit. I cannot wait to have the game. Yes, we haven't really shown much live track stuff in this particular stream, but you guys obviously did it in previous ones, and yeah, it's phenomenal, isn't it? You know, you get to look at the game some days, and it just looks absolutely real when the rain starts coming in, or even when it has been raining and you are dealing with the aftermath of it. Yeah, it really is alive, as you say.
We could finish the stream with something like that. Actually, I could set something up on Spa so people can see the drying line up the hill through Eau Rouge, maybe.
Yep, absolutely. Someone's asking. So next stream is after Gamescom, right?
Yes,
the week after Gamescom.
Yeah, I believe it's the 7th of September will be the next one.
Yeah, there will be streams happening throughout Gamescom. Yeah, whether it is on Facebook Live, whether it is on Twitch, either at Project Cars Game or ESL_Racing. We've got the World Final on Wednesday. I'm sure you'll be seeing videos from myself and Joe from the show floor. We'll give you guys a booth tour as well for those guys who cannot make it to the show itself. So yeah, watch out for all the content that will be coming out next week, but the actual proper dev stream is going to be the week after. So yeah. So keep an eye out.
Ronaldo, I just spotted actually as I glanced over. Ronaldo in the chat has asked a couple of times about what will be on show at Gamescom. It's 3 different car and track combinations. I believe it is LaFerrari at Nürburgring Sprint, Formula Renault at Circuit of the Americas Short, and Porsche GT3 at Red Bull Ring, I think, off the top of my head. I think those are the 3 main scenarios, I think.
Yeah, we've also got a really awesome booth with I think it's 6 rigs, sim rigs on the left-hand side, I believe, and then gamepad pods on the right-hand side, as well as a nice, pretty car there as well. And then if you head over to the Esl Alpha Stage on Wednesday from 2 o'clock onwards, we've got the World Final of the SMSR Championship Series. So we've got 5 of the biggest esports teams in the world who qualified, and they're going to be racing head-to-head to find out who ultimately is going to be crowned overall champion, raise the trophy above their heads, maybe get some extra swag and stuff, and also a big prize pool as well. So yes, check out that all next week, and especially Wednesday.
Here's where I fly off the road in the wet, but we'll see how I do.
You didn't go for snow? Okay.
It's hard to show a drying line with the snow, it's just snow. But yeah, we'll show off a little bit of live track stuff with the rain here.
Yeah.
I'm putting myself down a little bit. I'm normally okay in the wet, but now that I've said that, I'll definitely crash. Let's see what happens.
Someone said stop scrolling through the menus fast because they can't take screenshots. I see your game. I see what you're doing there. Yeah. So analyze afterwards, right? People asking as well if there's going to be organised races worldwide. So yes, another thing we forgot to mention is the community events now are platform specific, and they are also region specific too. So in Project Cars 1, all our community events were worldwide, right? And that was great. We got to see the talent on show from all the way around the world. But when it came to doing, say, PlayStation 4 specific events or a French event or something like that, it was pretty hard to do. You know, we had to filter out those drivers manually.
Typical.
Just turned it around, no. So yes, in Project Cars 2, not only can community events be, as I said, platform specific, you know, by default they will be on all platforms, of course, but there may be events which are, say, Xbox One specific or PlayStation 4 specific or PC specific. We'll have more information on that at a later date. I'd
just like to say I meant to do that spin, obviously, just to let the field get ahead so they can dry the track out for me and you'll see the drying line better. That was obviously what that was about.
And then also community events can now be region specific. So off the top of my head, there is Europe East, Europe West, Japan, Korea, China, Turkey, Russia, Brazil, North America, South America, north of Latin America, Oceania as well. Okay, so we're trying to give you guys a way to, as you can kind of guess, a way to find out who is the fastest driver in Japan, who is the fastest guy in North America, and then of course, potentially, if we were to do, say, qualifiers for an esport competition, we can obviously bring the fastest drivers together and invite them into an online championship as an esports event. So yes, there will be many championships likely, many leagues that either our official affiliates will be able to create or our partners will be able to create or ourselves will be able to create for Project Cars 2.
Wide.
And we can also say as well, for those of you who have Project Cars 1 as well, we are adding in a bunch of community events to go into the next year as well. For those guys who still love playing Project Cars 1, there'll be more community events for you guys to play in the original title too. There we go. There we go, and straight away, the multi-continent feature is a really great addition, so thank you. We thought it would be a good idea. We did it for many, many reasons, including, you know, you guys as the fans being able to kind of see who's the fastest in your region. And also, yes, it opens up the world of possibilities for a number of different ongoing championships thereafter. Has the damage model been improved? Yes, to a certain extent. I mean, I think you'll probably talk about that in Korea. Because it links directly into like pit strategy.
Yeah, I should point out we've actually got damage turned off at the moment,
yes,
for the sake of the stream. So,
but yes, absolutely. If you probably go into pit strategies in the next stream, maybe you'll be able to talk about like damage. I mean, you can see in the bottom right-hand corner we've actually added a damage indicator to the hood. This is the light version of the hood as well, so there's even more detail that it goes into. It's missing off brake temperature and it's missing off suspension damage off the indicator in the bottom right hand corner, but you can turn that on yourself. So yes, I haven't seen it talked about on a previous stream as well, but yeah, once again, being able to edit the hood is in the game, and it is even more feature rich than it was in the previous title too. So of course you can move everything around, but now you can also change things between either off, light or full status. So you can completely rearrange the hood that Joe has on here, and you can turn some things off. You can have others in a more full manner, which gives you more detail, or you can just keep them as they are in their light status, which is what they are by default. So yeah, if you were to turn on the damage indicator in the bottom right, you'll be able to see, as I said, your brake information and also your suspension information. And of course, if you were to then activate the in-car management system, have we announced that? The game's almost out, surely we're allowed to announce that, right?
We've definitely shown it somewhere. It's
okay, good. Can't get in trouble, surely.
No.
The in-car management system is a system allowing you to talk to your pit crew and change pit strategies on the fly, or choose the one that you actually want to activate when you come into the pits.
Yeah, you can
I won't talk about it anymore. You guys can talk about it on the next stream.
That'll come up in the next stream as well, but I should just point out that also includes things like, oh, someone's had a spin, try not to hit him. You can see it's clearing up now as well, so you'll see the drying line hopefully up Eau Rouge next time around. But yeah, that menu Andy mentioned, the in-car management menu, includes things like fuel map settings, traction control settings on the fly, ABS settings on the fly, brake balance, all that stuff.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. Someone said, can you finish your qualifying laps even when the timer is finished? And that is a yes as well. So yes, even though the qualifying time is actually counted down, you can complete your lap as well. Some questions about how realistic is the damage model. Very is the short answer to that. Well, obviously we go as far as we are allowed. Please remember that not only do we have to adhere to motorsport regulations, but also to manufacturer regulations as well. And obviously we go as far as we possibly can there, so nothing encroaches the driver safety canopy, nothing catches on fire or things like that, but absolutely everything gets can be done to the cars, as you'll have probably seen on Project Cars 1 as well, you know, pieces of the car falling off and all that kind of stuff. So yes, it's been improved on this title, and also, you know, it's as authentic as we can get. Cannot wait, and 6 exclamation marks. Awesome.
I would have been more impressed if it was 7, personally.
Is Live Track 3 the same for everyone online? Say me and the car in front see exactly the same puddle of rain. Yes, of course. Yes, obviously it would be completely unfair if Joe had to navigate around a puddle on his screen, but it wasn't there for the other guys on their screens. You know, that's, you know, as we've alluded to many times, you know, esports is extremely important to us, and therefore, regardless of whether it's esports or not, you know, that kind of system and ensuring all players are on a level playing field is incredibly important. So the ability to sync that data across all players is yeah, paramount. Will there be any online events to race against devs? It's a good question. Are you going to be online when the game launches, Joe?
I'd quite like to do something with the community at some point. That's one of the things we've never really done. I think we've got a few guys in the studio now who are quite competitive. I think myself and Matt York, who some of the guys in the chat will know as Yorkie, and Dave Bramall has done some races with Apex Online Racing. I think Pete Morris has as well. So yeah, at some point it would be nice to do something like that. Absolutely.
It's my favourite, you know, people say like, what is your favourite bit of game development and piece about the game? My personal favourite is launch week, launch month, going online, going on the Xbox One with you guys and just racing against you guys and hearing your voices over the chat, giving us feedback on the game, loving it, whooping with joy, wanting to go into the next race, to have another, to get revenge or to own me once more. But yeah, absolutely, that is my favourite bit of the entire process, actually hearing you guys and playing with you guys when the game launches. So absolutely, I'll definitely be there on Xbox One. Other guys, who Joe mentioned, will be on various platforms, whether that's PlayStation 4 or PC. And yeah, obviously there's the ability to create your own games and stream them and stuff. So yeah, that's likely to happen, absolutely.
We're going to have to start wrapping up now, I think, but I think, Andy, we should talk briefly about the World Final at Gamescom.
Yes, absolutely. So I think it's 2 o'clock start in the ESL 1 Alpha Stage.
On Wednesday.
On Wednesday. Can't remember what date that is, but yeah. Come along. It's going to have, if you want to see the best racers.
Rene says it. Rene's in the chat. He says it's 3 p.m. Central European time. So we're wrong.
That's 2 p.m. for British time. Yeah,
that's true.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. 3 p.m. CEST, Cologne time, as it were. And yes, you're going to see the best drivers, the best racers, the best teams in Project Cars, and indeed some other games as well, racing in what is the pinnacle of our esport competition. So yeah, these guys have been racing for the last few months. It's been an incredibly awesome series to watch, with some great stories of which teams have just one great driver and potentially need like the other teammate to step up. Other teams which have 2 great drivers who are just dominant. Other teams who came from behind to ultimately win with SDL Esports, and other teams who underperformed either by not realizing the gravitas of the situation, or unfortunately having physical injuries like Karki for BAM, who therefore kind of crippled, no pun intended, their chances at winning.
That was definitely pun intended.
And then also some dark horses who we knew were great and really kind of took on the gravitas of the situation to step up to the plate. So yeah, if you come along, come along and cheer on for your favorite driver, your favorite team. We're going to have an infographic out very, very soon, which will give you a little tease, a little bit of information about which drivers and teams to watch and what the expectation of them is at the World Final as well. You'll be able to see us, we'll be there. Rene and Actual Vision, Luke Crane will be there as well as Deman, a great commentator, as well as other members of the dev team staff too. And you'll be able to meet the drivers as well, take photos, take your selfies and stuff like that, as well as just have a great time, whooping and cheering for, whilst you watch some of the, as I said, the best drivers out there racing at insane speeds on some of the most iconic tracks, right? I mean, these guys are absolute beasts.
We should point out as well, if you can't get to Gamescom, all the racing in the World Final will be on twitch.tv/ESL_racing.
Yep.
At the same time that it's live in the arena.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that'll be it for this week. So you can follow Project Cars Game on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. The game is obviously out on September 22nd on Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and PC. The last thing I'd like to say as well is that Luke Crane, who we mentioned earlier, who's going to be commentating at Gamescom, he's actually live on Twitch now with some Project Cars 1 action at twitch.tv/actualvision. So if you want some more Project Cars stuff, go head over and check out what Luke's doing. Otherwise, I'll see you on Gamescom live streams, and I'll see you as well for our next live stream from here in the London studio, which will be on September 7th, hopefully with Ben Collins joining us as well.